Hello, hello. It is Throwback Thursday, December 13th, 2018. Steve Sipress here. Was going through my library. Just picked some here for Throwback Thursday. And lo and behold, I found that's from 2008. It's about 10 years old. And it's called Letter from Toby. And you can see it's by our Toby's father and world-renowned sales expert Harry Galper book. And it's something anybody can read. Look at how thin the book is, and look at itself. And then paragraphs, and then whole page, blank lines, and that's the entire book goes on that way. So if you can't put a book together that's one sentence, something you think, some lessons, some tips, some anything, then a couple of paragraphs about it, and then a page of notes, and you put it all together, and you put a little introduction about why you're writing it or how it came about, and boom, you got a book. Now, here's the deal. In fact, Ari tells in the beginning, in this book, and of course, I talked to him personally about how this came to be. He sent out an email one day over, I don't know, probably almost 15 years ago now, about, hey, lessons learned from his son Toby. And he said, man, that email got more responses more quickly than any other email he ever wrote, with all the sales tips and, hey, why don't you do this, and this will make you more money, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But the responses came flooding in from the personal story, the emotional personal story being told. Now all the responses, and he says a couple of years later he decided just to send it out again. And lo and behold, even more response the second time. And then he said, you know what? I'm going to put together 52 of these tips and make it a weekly tip. And he says he got the inspiration for that just from combing through all the hundreds of responses he had gotten to those first couple of emails and all the tips that came up. And he wrote them down in little wisdom nuggets, as he called them, and he put them into a book. And still to this day, he says, now he includes this, at least that's how I got it, he includes it with his program. So you get a program on how to sell better, and comes with it a book called Lessons from Toby, which, as Ari says, is not a how-to book. It's a how-to-be book. It's just life lessons. It's a personal story about Ari's personal family, his son. So not lessons about sales. This isn't Toby teaching you how to sell more stuff, although, of course, he is. Because when you are feeling better, when you become a better person, when you're acting better towards others, of course, they're going to respond to you better, which means they're going to buy more of whatever it is you want them to buy, and you're going to sell more stuff. But that's not what it's all about. He's included this book to make a better connection with his customers, and sent out the email, and anybody can get this book. Prospects, customers, clients, your patients, your members, your customers, your clients, anybody can get your book. So a lot of people say, oh, I want to write a book. And then you want to write a book, if you're a plumber, all about plumbing. If you're an attorney, you want to write it all about, oh, the 10 ways to write a will, or the 10. You want to, if you're all gung-ho about your business and you think that's how you're going to get the most clients writing about your business, that's how, of course, you're going to get clients from it, but the best way to make a connection with people, to build a relationship, is to write something personal. A lot of people say, yeah, but Steve, I don't want to mix my personal with my business life like you do. I mean, I hear all the time people say, man, I really love how you weave your personal life into your videos. And you talk about where you're going and where you were and what you did and your friends and your family. And my, he's 3 years gone now, but he was our beloved rambunctious Cocker Spaniel Emmanuel, who's, speaking of a book, he for years wrote a monthly column in my Rhino Monthly magazine. And he knew the end was near about 3 years ago, and he was about to leave this world, knowing the end was near. Man, I never saw him work more feverishly, just writing away, and he left dozens and dozens of columns. Still to this day, I am publishing every month in Rhino Monthly magazine a column from my now gone from this world beloved rambunctious Cocker Spaniel Emmanuel. And when people would get my newsletter and get my magazine for years, they come up to me in an event or a seminar I'm hosting or I'm speaking somewhere, and would they say, like, gee, tell me a tip on how to make more money? Steve, share with me some business building advice and strategy that you're well world renowned and you're so great at doing. No, they'd say things like, oh, how's your doggy? Oh, I love your doggy. Heck, my mom, I say this all the time in these reviews. My mom once said to me, because of course I would send her my magazine and my newsletters all the time. And she once said to me, she said, you're always so serious when you're writing your stuff and you're teaching people. And she'd say the same thing in these videos. Oh, you're always so serious. Why can't you be funnier like your dog? Now, he's funny. Okay. Thanks, Mom. So, lessons from Toby. Now, again, if you don't want to talk about your personal life, then have a book by your dog. In fact, people have told me that I should gather together a bunch of those columns that our beloved Cocker Spaniel Emmanuel wrote and put them into a book, Lessons from Emmanuel, or Emmanuel's Musings, or whatever we're going to call it. And somewhere it's on a to-do list somewhere. I ought to do that. So maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you don't want to tell your own personal story, how you came about getting into your business. Maybe just vacations you've gone on. But maybe you don't want to share your personal life. Well, then you can talk about your dog. You can write a book from your dog, from your cat, from your neighbor's dog, from, advertising world-renowned expert J. Conrad Levinson made up characters for business people who didn't want to be their own personality in their business. They did not want to be Frank Perdue, Dave Thomas of Wendy's, Donald Trump, Lee Iacocca. They didn't want to be the personality, the driver of their business, so he made up characters like the Jolly Green Giant and Tony the Tiger and Charlie the Tuna and Smokey the Bear and on and on and on to represent the businesses. So even if you don't want to share your personal life, your personal stories, maybe you can just talk about things you've learned from your kid, from your neighbor's kid, but it's the personal stuff. Try it, test me, and prove me wrong. But I'm here to tell you that the personal stories of your personal life, of you and dogs, pets, kids, family, anybody else, is going to get a better response and build a better bond with your audience than you just continuing to talk all about how great you are and how much knowledge you have about business. That's not what's going to build that relationship. People, again, I'm telling you, from all my newsletters, magazines, articles, blog posts, interviews I've done, radio, TV, I've now done, I don't know how many hundreds of daily videos. I host 2 different podcasts, have been going on for years. And people don't remember. They don't come up and say, oh, I remember this specific tip. They say, oh, man, hey, your doggy, he's funny. Or I remember when you were talking about this out by your pool. Or, hey, I love the way you were hiking in the thing, or whatever. They're going to bond and connect with you. If there's anything, if you turn on the news, then you certainly know, and hopefully you don't too often, but once in a while at least it is extremely entertaining these days. But one thing you'll know, I don't have to tell you, that trust is severely lacking, if existent at all, in the world. So what better way, I'm here to tell you, there is no better way to get people to trust you, to get to know you, and to like you, and to eventually to trust you, and therefore to want to do business with you, than to share some personal, non-business, non-relevant to your particular industry type of stuff like Ari Galpert did in his ingenious Lessons from Toby. So I guess here I'm sharing lessons to be learned from Lessons from Toby. How about that? Lessons from Toby. So now Toby's teaching another lesson. There's number 53. How about that? And let's go here. Ruben is here. Jim is here. And Phil says, Steve, working on exactly that project. Yeah. Love to hear it, Phil, because Phil, I don't know about exactly that project. I don't know what that means, but I know we talked about it for years. So hopefully you are working on that project. Hopefully you're getting that project done. You're getting it out there. You can always do volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. So get it out there. That's my advice to you, Phil, and anybody else that's saying, ooh, I'm working. Stop working on stuff and just get it done. Okay, that's like firing the missile. Get it off the launch pad, and then all the scientists can sit there with their controls and make all the adjustments and all the guided this and all the whatever. How many books did Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen publish in the Chicken Soup for the Soul series? 150 something? Get the first one out there. You can always do a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. There was one Star Wars, one Harry Potter, one James Bond, and then there's a second and a third and a fourth and a sixth and an eighth, and it goes on for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 10 different actors, 15 different people playing James Bond. Can't even keep track of them all, right? Just get it out there. Get it done, okay? Be an action taker. Be a true entrepreneur and be taking lots of action and move on to the next project, whether it's the sequel in series or volume 2 or another project you want to do. Get them done, okay? There's a saying, it's not really the subject for today, but I got to paraphrase. Somebody had a saying, I forget who, but it's something like, my crappily done book makes me about 1 million times more money than your unfinished one. So get the stuff out there. I'm sure that the second this was published, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that the second this was published, Ari said, oh, you know what? I should have used this one instead of lesson 42. This would have been better. Or, I would rewrite paragraph 4 of the introduction and make it this way. And, oh, I forgot to acknowledge somebody. Just get it out there, folks. Get it done. Okay, I can speak from experience on that, of having taken massive action. People ask me all the time, how do you get so much stuff done? How are you doing so much stuff? Because I just get it done. I'm results-oriented. I want to get it done. I'm not process-oriented. If I ever catch myself saying I'm working on something, I got to smack myself in the head. Maybe that's why I have no more hair. And so I just get it done. So Phil and anybody else, take that action. Get it done. Even if you got a book in your head about the 6 tips to, how to choose a plumber, or how to, write a will, or how to be an attorney, this, or how to do blah, 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 to prove how great you are and how an expert you are in your field, you know what? Just connect with people on a personal basis. If Ari was here, he would tell you what wonders this did for connection with him and his prospects, his customers, his clients, people that have him speak on stages all over the world and interview him all over radio and TV. How much business, how many connections, how many deep relationships have come, besides, of course, the one with his own son, from his book, Lessons from Toby. You can do it too. Can't be that difficult, can it? To write a few paragraphs under one sentence and then a page of notes. Do that 52 times, do it 20 times, do it 10 times, and you got yourself a book. And then you can do a second, a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and you can be the author of 20, 30, 40 books. Got to get the first one done. That'll do it for Throwback Thursday. Thanks for being here today, everybody live. Thanks, Phil, for the input. Anybody with I saw a bunch of likes come across. Thank you for those. And that'll do it for Throwback Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow with Foundation Friday. Speaking about telling a story, and people tell me all the time, gee, I love how you weave your personal life into the stories. I've been waiting almost a week now to share with you what I'm going to share tomorrow on Foundational Friday. It happened last Friday night at a party with some neighbors, and I was talking to a business owner, and I gave him a tip that would make him a ridiculous amount of money incredibly easily, and he just didn't get it. And hopefully you, from being here on tomorrow's Foundational Friday video, will get it and not suffer the fate of that business owner who is likely to join the 90% of businesses that go out of business in their first 5 years. Don't be that guy. Be here tomorrow on Foundation Friday. Thanks for being here today, and I'll catch you then. I got to click this twice, and I will say over and out. Bye-bye.